When making a decision based on thoughts that you're going through your head, right? Under pressure, life is happening to you as a storm, etc. When you feel a little lost, directionless, all this, go to the end of the outcome. Think about the end of the outcome and what that looks like as it pertains to, is it positive or negative? Choices, thoughts lead you somewhere. Just like we travel on foot to our destination, the same thing goes in the spiritual realm, except that we travel by thought. Energy travels with thoughts. So energy can be perceived as feelings. So feelings, thoughts, they all accompany direction. Okay, because after the thought, after the feeling comes, usually then comes the action. So then, if you play the movie out and you go all the way to the end of the outcome, and you look, and you can judge the fruit by whether it's good or bad. So if the action, say, let me give you an example. You don't know how to raise your children. You don't know exactly how to go about it. And they need discipline, but what type of discipline is the right discipline? They're messing up. Go to the end of the movie, the end of the outcome, right? What you want to do is you want to build up their self-esteem. You want to build up their identity. You want them to leave the matter understanding. That's a big one. Understanding right from wrong. Understanding what it is that they're doing wrong and how it ties into destruction, and why it is that you're disciplining them as a result of that. Well, the more they understand the why, they won't harbor resentment or bitterness towards you. They'll get on your side of the fence, so to speak, and they'll actually, in a roundabout way, accept the chastisement. But when you just discipline without the explanation, breaking it down on a fundamental level of getting them to understand, and taking your time with it, don't rush it. Really take your time with them so that their little minds can understand and receive why it is that you're being the way that you are with them, right? We got to be patient. Then they'll cooperate better with you in the future. Yesterday, I'll give you an example. I have a 11 turning 12-year-old son, and he's just like many children out there on tablets and phones and TV. And he found his way into some types of videos and some types of things that are inappropriate. Boys with girls and kissing and this and that, and he's now exploring. 11 years old, he's exploring that. And I found myself as a parent helping him to navigate this world, because as an adult, I understand where pornography leads. I understand that it leads to depression, isolation. It thwarts your personality, your identity. You become another version of yourself. Not the best version, another version. So that when you have an opportunity to date a girl, you're acting different. You're a little weird. Why? Because of all of that jargon that's playing in that person's head is being filtered out through your actions now. Also, you think less of yourself, because masturbation, removes parts of the importance of who you are, as it pertains to your power, your strength, your dignity, your confidence, all this stuff. It removes that. It takes from you. And then you're almost like, in a roundabout way, searching for those things, and they're missing. But when you reclaim your power is when you deny those rights. How do you explain that to a child? Well, I told him, right, that is very in a roundabout way, is very true. Innocence, all children have it, but when it's gone forever. Innocence. You have virgin eyes. You can only lose your virginity once. You have virgin eyes, virgin ears. That's why, to my kids personally, they don't watch horror movies. They don't watch bad stuff. So when they see blood, they freak out. And they're already kind of getting up there in age. They're almost teenagers. And imagine that. They've never seen, they don't like it. They don't like, they literally, they leave the room. They have virgin eyes. They're innocent. So then, likewise, right? In this realm of watching lustful things, there's a transaction that's happening in the spiritual realm where you're forking over your innocence, and you're now, the transaction there is that dark stuff that the devil stands for, the perversion, all that is entering into that person's heart. And it doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen all in one shot. It happens as you repeat the cycle over and over again. You come back over and over again. You're exchanging your innocence for that stuff, and then depression sets in. That's when the heart turns dark. That's when people change, right? And that's what I explained to him yesterday. And until I explained that to him, he was not going to stop watching that, because we all know that there is pleasure to it. We know that it does trigger a part of the mind and the brain that says, wow, this is like valuable. Like a beautiful girl is getting undressed and I'm able to see her. This is valuable. Because otherwise I would never be able to see something like this. So why would I want to let it go, right? And then when you weigh that towards what you're giving up when you watch it, right? And the transaction there, right? I didn't even tell him about hell, but yeah, hell is part of that, because God doesn't mess with that type of stuff. He doesn't like it, right? And so I explained all that to him, that it darkens the heart, it removes the innocence, and you can't get back your innocence once it's gone. He showed me a scar on his knee, and I said, you see how that scar will never go away? There's certain things that when we do in life, man, the blood of Jesus washes us, cleanses us, there's forgiveness and mercy and grace, but there's certain deeds that when we do, it marks us, and we carry that type of yoke, or we carry that memory, better put. We carry that memory, we carry that mark with us, right? It never goes away fully. It always travels with us, right? It's a lingering type of residue kind of thing. And you know what? It humbles us. It shows us, like, don't go back there. Don't do it because of this. You remember that? So long story short, I try to convey all that in a way, in a thought pattern and ideas for him to resonate with it, to see that he's fighting for himself. I told him things like, don't do it for me. Don't do it because you're going to get in trouble. I told him, I'm not angry with you. I'm sad for you. I'm not angry at you. I'm sad for you. That changed his whole face. And he's like, whoa. I said, I'm sad because I know where this road leads. And I love you, and I don't want you to go down that road. It's dark. So think about that type of talk and what that would do for the child. And the end outcome was him deciding for himself, I don't want this. Him siding with the side of the light, the side of peace, the side of being right with God, the side of maintaining his integrity and his innocence, the side where he will, experience a girl without the filter of perversion, and he'll be able to be his authentic self because of it. After me explaining all that to him. Now, doesn't that beat, you better not, if I catch you watching that again, and all this stuff, like, that will not fix the problem, because you are not going to be by his side. And as soon as you leave his side to go to work, they're gone. Where's the power button? And then they delete the history, and they'll find ways for you not to find out. So that parenting doesn't work. Adam and Eve were told, don't eat from this fruit. And it was the one thing that they wanted more than all the other trees that they could eat from. Because anytime a human being is told you can't do that, they want to do it all the more. When a person is on a building and they say don't look down, what is it that they do first? They look down. People are wired for this type. And so understanding that, you don't go in that narrative, you change it. You appeal to their conscience. You appeal to their heart. You appeal to something that lives inside of them that is like, wow, sacred, and they don't want to blemish. They don't want to ruin their future. They have value for themselves. So you appeal to that versus you better not, the law, and all this stuff, right? Because that just doesn't quite do it. So that's it. That's the video. I just wanted to share that with you and go to the end of the outcome. Look at what the end outcome is in any situation, in any scenario, in any example that I could give. You go to the end and you look at that fruit. So you think about the thoughts that you're thinking, think about the actions that you're portraying, and think about what that's going to lead you to. And think, when you get there, are you going to be happy with that? If the answer is no, I wouldn't be happy with that, then put in the thoughts that are going to get you to where you do want. Obviously, the thoughts are going to multiply, producing those, that inspiration for you to now act towards that way. And then eventually you'll get there. So God bless you guys.